Now in this video we will be discussing about matrices. As I discussed earlier that it can actually contain two-dimensional array. So matrix function is being used to create a matrix, and these are the arguments we have. So we have a data, so like what on top of what data you want to create that matrix. So suppose I am saying that from 1 to 4 I want to create a matrix like this, and then I am saying how many rows. So by default it's 1, but I am changing it to 2, and by default its column is 1, but I am changing it to 2, and by default by row is equal to false. By row is nothing but suppose 1 to 4 you have to create a matrix, then how you want to do it? Either this way or this way. So you want to say that by row is equal to true is equal to 1, 2, 3 and 4. But if you change that by row is equal to false, then that means that you want to do it by column. So first 1, then by column 2, then 3, then 4. That's how you can do it. So I'm again repeating. So matrix is nothing but a two-dimensional array. So I'm keeping 1 to 4 all the numerical value, but I'm saying that I want to create 2 row and 2 column, and I want by row is equal to 2. That means that I will start from row and then in the second row. Similarly, if you want to access any element of a matrix, so suppose I have created this matrix 2, which is nothing but this, and I want to access the first row, then you can say 1 comma. So this is row comma column. So row comma column. So I am asking first row, then it would give me first row, then it would give me second row, then it would give me first column, because as I said row comma column. So I haven't written anything in row, so it would give me all the row, and it would give me only first column. Similarly, it would give me all the row, but it only second column. So let's see in the demo itself to understand it properly. So first of all, I want to show you that what this matrix function does and what are the different argument. And as you see that all those arguments whatever we discussed earlier, and then let's use that matrix function to create a matrix called mat1, and you can see the result. And similarly, I'm using the same function to create another matrix called mat2. I'm just pressing Ctrl Enter, and you can see the result mat2, which is also being stored here. And now if you want to access a particular row, then as I said row comma column, so you can see the first row. So you can see this is first row of mat2. So this was your mat2, and I have asked to access only first row. So that's why 1 comma 3. Similarly, if I want to see second row, 2 and 4. But if I want to see by column, then nothing comma 1. So all the row and only first column. And then similarly all the row but only second column. That's how you would get the result as well. And if you want to see row 1 and column 2, then row 1 and column 2, which is nothing but this value. So you can get the value as well. Now let's discuss about the array. So as I said, matrix is about only two-dimensional array, but in an array it can be a multi-dimensional. You can store a 3 cross 3, you can store 2 cross 3 cross 4, anything you can create. So I have given you 2 examples, and before that let's understand how we create the array in R. So we use array function, and these are the arguments we have in the function. As you can see that first you have to pass the data, like I have said that I want to pass 1 to 27. On with these data set I want to create that array. And what are those dimension? So dimension I have said 3 cross 3 cross 3, x axis, y axis, z axis. Or you can think it in this way, like you have employee, and as I said you have 3 different attribute you want to store. You want to store salary, you want to store age, you want to store grade, something like that. So you can store it in this way, and it's pretty simple, and you can see the result as well. This is how it will show you the result. And similarly, if you want to just change it to 2 cross 3 cross 4, then how it would look. So you can understand 2 is nothing but 2 row here, 3 is nothing but 3 column, and then 4 is nothing but another dimension, z dimension, that is showing 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's how it's been done. And let me quickly walk you through the demo as well. So first you can see what a array does, what this function does, and what are the different arguments. This is a nice way to learn each and every function, how it works, because normally we don't use all the arguments, but we normally use couple of arguments. But it's better to understand what else you can do with that function as well. Yeah, so as I was saying, that the first we are creating array called ARR, and you can see the result. And if you want to access a particular element, like the first element from x equal to 1, y equal to 1 and z equal to 1, which would be 1. Similarly, if you want to access x equal to 2, y equal to 1 and z equal to 1, that also you can do it from here. So you can understand. So x equal to 1 is nothing but row equal to 1, then row equal to 2, column equal to 1, and then z equal to 1. So that's why you have get the result as 2. So similarly you can access anything. And this was the second example where I was creating 2 cross 3 cross 4, and you can see the result. And this is the intuition why we are learning all those things, because in later point of time when we will be actually doing the machine learning concept, so this will be actually helping us to store this kind of data. Okay, now the most interesting one, which is about data frame. So what a data frame does, let me walk you through. So data frame is used for storing data tables. It is a list of vector of equal length. So all the vector we have learned, right? Numerical vector, character vector, logical vector, and all those things. But what if you want to now mix them? So suppose you want to create a data frame where you have one attribute as numerical, like age or salary, which is numerical. Then you want to, but you have 3 employee, right? For all of these vector you have same length, so you have 3 employee. Then you want to store their gender as well, male, female, male. Similarly, you want to understand whether they left our company or not, something like that. So true, false, something like that. So if you want to achieve this kind of data set, then you have to use data frame. Now we use data.frame. We use this function to create a data frame. But before that, we have to create 3 vector first. So suppose I am storing 2, 3 and 5 in a vector called num, then AA, BB, CC in char, and then true, false and true in logical. And then ultimately using that data.frame function, I am creating that data frame. So now that data frame name is df, and if you want to see what is df, what is being stored in df, so you would get this result. Let me quickly walk you through in the demo. As you can see, till this point I'm sure that you would be pretty much confident to actually create a vector, and you know both. So you can use this, or you can use this operator as well. You can create a num, then you can create similarly char character, then you can create a logical vector as well. And then using data.frame, this function, you are creating a data frame. And now if you want to see the result for data frame, then you can see it as well. Now think about a business scenario where you have employee and all those things. Then you would be mostly using this data frame. That's why data frame is one of the most important data structure in R. And to understand it in a better way, we would be actually using a inbuilt data frame. So in R, we have lot of inbuilt data frame which you can actually explore. So one of popular inbuilt data frame is empty car. So empty car is a actually data set for a car distribution. So you can actually go to this link and see the attribute and understand those attribute. I'm not opening because I have done that several times, but I'm going to discuss about what are the other function which you can use on top of a data frame. Suppose if you have empty car, you want to see empty car, like we have seen df, that data frame. Similarly, this data frame is already been created and stored in R already. That's why I'm saying this is inbuilt data frame. Now if you want to see empty car, as you can see, these are 32 model of car, 32 model of car, and you have different attributes. So suppose Mazda RX-4, what is the mileage? So this is a numerical one. Then what is the cylinder, what is the displacement, what is horsepower. Similarly, all those different attributes you have for all those 32 model. So these are 32 observation or row, and these are your column or attributes. Okay. Now if you want to see only couple of them, then you can use head function. So you can use head function for first several rows. You can use head function to see first several rows. Similarly, you can use tail function to see the last couple of observations. So you see, it started from Mazda, which was actually the first one, and the tail gives you from the below 5. So from below it would give you 5 results. So you can have a sense of it, how it looks like. Now then another function is str, which is structure of a data set. So if you use str function on top of empty car, you would see that now it gives you much more better result than earlier one. It gives you that you have 32 observation, you have 11 attributes, and for each of those attributes, how are those values, like 21, 21, 22, 8. So you get a sense, your whole data set, how it looks like. So this is about this inbuilt data frame, and we took empty car as a sample example. Then you can see head, tail, str, and similarly you can access also from empty car. If you want to access, let me walk you through. Suppose you want to access first 4 attribute. So again, row comma column. So you want to access 4 attribute, which is nothing but 4 column. But for how many brands? First 2 brand. So you are saying first 2 brand, and I want to see all those 4 attributes. So you can see for Mazda RX-4 and Mazda RX-4 WAG, all those first 4 column. Similarly, you can also see summary of a empty car, like this is better than the structure. It gives you the min and max for each of those attribute. It also gives you first quartile, median, third quartile, and we will be discussing it in a much better way. But try to remember the function we are using: head, tail, str, summary, what it does. And if you want to access a particular column, suppose you want to access a particular column, so empty car is already being stored in R. So once you write empty cars, then if you say $, then all those columns will come automatically. And if you want to see maybe gear, then you can see the result for it, that these are the result for that column. So I think you got an understanding about where we normally use data frame, then how to create a data frame. And if you don't want to create a data frame, you already have an inbuilt data frame, how to access that, how to see the first several rows or last several rows, then how to see the structure or summary, or how you want to access a couple of rows and columns, or you want to see particularly one column, then how you can see you have seen that. So we will be discussing list and several other example in data frame in next video.